Silence filled space as the Phoenix faced the Vordari fleet. 27 alien warships against one former piece of space trash. To anyone watching, it seemed like no contest at all. "They're charging weapons," Alan said from his station. "All ships." The Vordari commander's voice came through again. "You have 10 seconds to surrender." 9. 8. Samantha looked at her readings of the stellar core. "The power levels are still climbing. I don't even know what this ship is capable of now." 7. 6. 5. Lisa turned to Navigator's screen. "What do we do? How do we activate the weapon?" "The decision must be yours," Navigator replied. "The architects designed this system to respond to intent. You must choose to defend, not attack." 4. 3. Lisa closed her eyes for a second, then opened them with new determination. "I choose to defend Earth and all its people. I choose to stop the Vordari without destroying them." 2. 1. Weapon system activated, Navigator announced. The Phoenix glowed brighter. A wave of blue energy spread out from the ship like ripples in a pond. It moved too fast to dodge, washing over the Vordari ships in seconds. Nothing seemed to happen at first. Then, one by one, the lights on the Vordari ships went dark. Their engines stopped. They floated in space, dead but undamaged. "What did we do to them?" Lisa asked, amazed. "The stellar core generated a field that disrupts artificial power systems," Navigator explained. "Their ships are temporarily disabled, but no one is harmed." On Earth, people cheered as they watched the Vordari fleet go dark. Jack Harris smiled as he saw the Phoenix glowing at the center of it all. "That's my wife up there," he said proudly to the people around him. 3 more ships suddenly appeared near the edge of the solar system. These were different, white and gold instead of dark gray. They moved quickly toward Earth, but didn't seem threatening. "New contacts," Alan reported. "They're not Vordari." A new voice came through the speakers, speaking a musical language that somehow sounded friendly. Navigator translated. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are representatives of the Galactic Confederation Council. We have observed your defense against the unauthorized Vordari attack." The largest of the new ships stopped near the Phoenix. "This is Captain Lisa Wright of Earth," Lisa replied. "We welcome peaceful contact. We are most interested in how you activated the architect vessel," the alien voice said. "No species has done so in 50,000 years." Samantha stepped forward. "We just followed the instructions that appeared when the ship decided we were ready." There was a pause before the alien responded. "The ship decided. Most fascinating. The legends may be true after all." "What legends?" Lisa asked. "That the architects did not go extinct as most believe. They evolved beyond physical form. They left their technologies behind as tests for worthy successor species." The aliens explained that the Vordari knew the old stories but thought they were just myths. By abandoning the ship on Earth, they had accidentally given humans exactly what the architects intended: a chance to prove themselves. "Your handling of the architect vessel shows remarkable restraint," the alien voice said. "You disabled your enemies without destroying them. Few young species show such wisdom." "What happens now?" Lisa asked. "Your world will be offered membership in the Confederation. The Vordari will face sanctions for their actions, and you, humans, will be recognized as inheritors of architect knowledge." 3 months later, the Phoenix prepared for its first official voyage beyond the solar system. Captain Lisa stood on the bridge with Samantha and Alan beside her. Jack would stay on Earth, leading the team building more ships based on what they had learned. "Course set for the Confederation capital," Lisa said. "Ready, Navigator." "All systems functioning at optimal levels," Navigator replied. "And I have a message for you from the Architect Data Archives. It was meant to be revealed upon your first interstellar journey." The message appeared on the main screen in glowing letters. "Welcome to the stars, children. You have proven yourselves worthy of the legacy we left behind. Your path was difficult by design, for only through challenge can wisdom be earned. We watch with pride as you take your first steps into a larger universe. The Phoenix moved away from Earth, no longer a piece of alien trash, but a symbol of humanity's future among the stars. Earth prepared for war in the 3 days they had left. Every country sent soldiers and weapons to key cities. People looked at the sky with fear, wondering if they would see alien ships coming down through the clouds. Meanwhile, the Phoenix flew toward Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system. Captain Lisa, Samantha, Alan, and 5 engineers worked non-stop to follow the architect instructions for activating the stellar core. Jupiter isn't a star, Lisa said as they approached the giant gas planet. Will this still work? The core can draw energy from any large celestial body, Navigator explained. Jupiter has enough mass to power the initial activation. The Phoenix entered Jupiter's upper atmosphere. The ship shook as gas clouds thicker than Earth's oceans rushed past the windows. Hull temperature rising, Alan reported from his station. Shields at 75% and dropping. Just a little deeper, Samantha said, watching energy readings on her screen. The ship dove into the swirling storms of Jupiter, fighting against winds stronger than any hurricane on Earth. Back on Earth, Jack Harris led a team preparing the planet's defenses. They had built shields based on Phoenix technology around major cities. It wouldn't stop a full attack, but it might buy them time. Any word from the Phoenix? He asked his assistant. Nothing since they entered Jupiter's atmosphere 2 hours ago, she answered. And our sensors show the Vordari fleet has entered the solar system. 27 ships, all bigger than ours. Jack looked at the worried faces around him. Keep working. Samantha and the team will come through. They always do. Deep in Jupiter's storms, the Phoenix reached the right depth. The pressure outside the ship was enough to crush mountains, but the architect's shields held. We're in position, Lisa announced. Samantha, start the sequence. Samantha entered commands into her console. The ship hummed as power flowed into the stellar core. The blue crystal at the heart of the Phoenix began to glow brighter than the sun, but somehow didn't hurt their eyes to look at. Core is at 20% activation, Navigator reported. 30%, 40%. The ship began to change. Panels moved and shifted. New systems appeared that they had never seen before. What's happening? Lisa asked, watching parts of her ship transform. The Phoenix is reconfiguring to its true form, Navigator said. The architects designed it to adapt when fully powered. 60%, 70%, 80%. Alarms sounded as the ship began to pull away from Jupiter on its own. The controls no longer responded to Lisa's commands. Navigator, we're losing control of the ship, she shouted. That is expected, Navigator replied calmly. The automatic protocols are taking over. The Phoenix knows what it needs to do. 90%, 95%, core activation complete. A pulse of blue energy shot from the Phoenix, racing ahead of them back toward Earth. The ship followed, moving faster than it ever had before. What was that pulse? Samantha asked. A warning to the Vordari, Navigator said, and a message to your people that help is coming. On Earth, every screen and radio suddenly showed the same message. Stand firm. The Phoenix comes. The Vordari fleet had reached Earth's orbit. Their ships were dark and threatening, lined up like hunters surrounding their prey. The lead ship broadcast a message to every device on the planet. Humans of Earth, you have stolen Vordari property and attacked a Vordari vessel. Surrender the Phoenix immediately or face planetary bombardment. As the message played, a small dot of blue light appeared near Mars. It grew larger as the Phoenix raced home, glowing with power never seen before in the solar system. Vordari fleet detected, Navigator announced. 27 warships in attack formation around Earth. Lisa took a deep breath and sat in the captain's chair. Can we defeat that many? Unknown, Navigator said. But the stellar core is fully charged. The ship is ready. The Phoenix slowed as it approached the fleet. It now looked very different, sleeker, with glowing blue lines running along its hull like veins carrying power. The Vordari commander's voice came through again. Impossible. That ship cannot be functional. Power down immediately, or we will open fire. Lisa looked at Samantha and Alan. They nodded, ready for whatever came next. This is Captain Lisa Wright of the Earth ship Phoenix, she said. We will not power down. We will not surrender. You abandoned this ship on our world thinking we would destroy ourselves with it. Instead, we mastered it. Now you have a choice. Leave our solar system in peace, or find out what this worthless ship can really do. The captured Vordari scout ship sat in cargo bay 3 of the Phoenix like a shark in a fish tank. Scientists in white coats walked around it, taking pictures and readings. Armed guards stood at every door. Captain Lisa ordered the Phoenix to orbit Earth while they studied their prize. The Vordari pilot had escaped in a small pod before they could catch him. He was surely on his way to tell his leaders what had happened. This ship is only 10 years old, Samantha said, looking at her scanner. The technology is far more advanced than navigator systems. Alan ran his hand along the scout ship's smooth hull. Look at these weapon mounts. They're at least twice as powerful as ours, but our shields held. Jack's voice came through the radio from Earth. How is that possible? If their tech is better than ours, how did we win that fight? Navigator answered from the walls. The Vordari pilot did not expect resistance. He believed your ship would be running on minimum power with most systems offline. Lisa smiled. So he shot first and asked questions later. Bad move. The team worked through the night, learning everything they could from the scout ship. Alan focused on its weapons and shields. Samantha studied the engine and power systems. By morning, they had made a shocking discovery. Everyone needs to see this, Samantha said, calling a meeting in the main control room. She put an image on the big screen. A strange blue crystal the size of a golf ball. This is the power source for the scout ship, she explained. It's putting out more energy than a nuclear power plant, but it's not radioactive. Can we copy it? Lisa asked. No, Samantha said. But we don't need to. Look at this. She showed another image, a much larger version of the same crystal deep inside the Phoenix. Navigator, tell them what you told me. Navigator's voice was calm as always. The crystal is called a stellar core. It draws energy directly from stars. The small one in the scout ship is a standard Vordari power source. The one in this vessel is an architect prototype, over 100 times more powerful. Everyone was quiet for a moment. So our worthless ship has a super power source that the Vordari couldn't figure out how to use? Alan asked. Correct, Navigator said. The architects designed this vessel as a prototype for a new class of ships. The power core was their most advanced creation, but the Vordari believed it was non-functional. Why would they think that? Lisa asked. The screen changed to show writing in a strange language. I have found hidden files in my memory. The architects left messages that only activate under certain conditions. What conditions? Samantha asked. When a species shows the capacity to use the technology properly. Your defense of the ship against the scout triggered this protocol. Jack, listening from Earth, asked the question everyone was thinking. Navigator, what is the Phoenix really designed to do? This vessel was created to channel stellar energy as a defensive measure against aggressive species. In simple terms, it is a weapon of immense power, capable of disabling entire fleets without destroying them. Samantha looked shocked. The ship the Vordari thought was junk is actually a superweapon. Yes, Navigator said. And based on the scout ship's transmission before it was captured, the Vordari are sending a war fleet to your planet. They will arrive in approximately 3 days. Alarms suddenly rang through the ship. On the screen, they saw a small object racing away from Earth. The Vordari pilot's escape pod just jumped to faster than light speed, Alan said. He's going to meet the fleet. Lisa stood up, her face serious. We need to get the Phoenix ready for battle. If the Vordari are coming with a war fleet, We need to be prepared. Samantha looked at the image of the blue crystal. We need to activate the architect core. It's our only chance against a fleet. Navigator's screen showed new information, complex diagrams and instructions in both alien and English text. The architects have provided the activation protocols, Navigator said. But there is a risk. No one has ever fully powered this system before. The results are unpredictable. We don't have a choice, Lisa said. Earth is counting on us. Let's turn our piece of alien trash into the superweapon it was meant to be. 20 years after the alien ship crashed on Earth, humans were ready to fly it. The Phoenix, as everyone called it now, sat on a giant launch pad in the Nevada desert. Its hull shone silver in the morning sun, all damage fixed by its own repair systems. Captain Lisa Wright walked through the ship's main hall, checking systems on her tablet. She had been a fighter pilot before joining the Earth Space Initiative. Now she would be the first human to command an alien ship in space. All systems are green, she said to Samantha, who now had gray in her hair, but the same excited eyes she'd had 20 years ago. I never thought I'd see this day, Samantha said. She and Jack had gotten married 5 years back after working side by side for so long. Now they were both lead scientists on the Phoenix project. Navigator, status report, Lisa called out. All flight systems operational, Navigator replied. Power levels at 98%. Weather conditions acceptable for launch. Alan Cruz joined them, carrying equipment for the weapons station. At 35, he had grown from an eager young scientist to the world's expert on the ship's defense systems. The shields are at full strength, he said. If we run into trouble up there, we'll be ready. Jack's voice came over the radio. Control room to Phoenix. We're tracking an object entering Earth's atmosphere. It's moving fast and not answering our calls. Lisa looked at Samantha. The Vordari scout. Samantha nodded. They've been watching us for months. Looks like they're done just looking. Change of plans, Lisa said. We launch now. Everyone to your stations. Alarms sounded throughout the base as the launch was moved up. The crew of 20 ran to their positions. Lisa took the captain's chair in the control room, with Samantha as science officer and Alan at the weapons console. Jack, we're taking off, Lisa said into her radio. Keep the champagne cold for when we get back. Be careful up there, Jack replied from the ground control room. That scout ship is armed. The Phoenix lifted off the ground without a sound. There was no fire, no smoke, no roar of engines like human rockets. It simply rose into the air as if it weighed nothing, then shot upward faster than any Earth ship could fly. Within minutes, they were in space. The blue curve of Earth filled the windows. For a moment, everyone was quiet, taking in the view. Contact approaching, Navigator announced. Vordari scout vessel on intercept course. On the main screen, they saw a small ship shaped like an arrow coming toward them. It was dark gray with red lights along its sides. They're scanning us, Samantha said, looking at her readings. A voice suddenly filled the room, speaking a strange language that sounded like clicks and whistles. Then it switched to English. Unauthorized activation of Vordari property detected. Power down immediately or face destruction. Lisa stood up from her chair. This is Captain Lisa Wright of the Earth vessel Phoenix. We claim salvage rights to this ship, which was abandoned on our world. Your species is not recognized by the Galactic Confederation. The alien voice replied. You have no rights. Final warning. A red beam shot from the scout ship, hitting the Phoenix. The ship shook slightly. Shields holding at 95%. Ellen reported, surprised. They didn't expect us to have working defenses. The scout fired again, this time with a stronger beam. The Phoenix shook harder. Shields at 80%, Alan said. We can't take too many of those. Lisa looked at Navigator's screen. Can we fire back? Defensive systems are online, Navigator said. But I must warn you that attacking a Vordari vessel is an act of war. They shot first, Lisa said. Ellen, target their engines. Let's disable them, not destroy them. Alan's fingers moved over his console. Targeting. Firing. A blue pulse shot from the Phoenix, hitting the scout ship. The smaller vessel spun from the impact, its engines flickering. Direct hit, Alan said. Their power systems are failing. Navigator, can we bring that ship aboard? Lisa asked. In one of our cargo bays. Yes, Captain. Bay 3 is large enough. Lisa smiled. Then let's bring our visitor home. I think the ESI scientists would love to look at current Vordarي technology. As the disabled scout was pulled into the Phoenix, Samantha looked worried. You know what this means, right? We just captured a Vordarي ship. They won't ignore this. Lisa nodded. I know. But at least now we have proof that we're not as primitive as they think. The news that alien watchers had noticed them spread fast. Within a day, leaders from every big country came to see the ship now known as Phoenix. The secret was too big to keep anymore. Samantha and Jack stood before a room of serious people in suits and uniforms. Maps and photos covered the walls. Coffee cups sat empty as the meeting reached its 4th hour. So these Vordarي aliens know we fixed their trash ship, said the American president. What will they do now? Samantha looked at Jack, then answered, We don't know for sure. But Navigator has been telling us more about them. And it's not good news. The room grew quiet as Navigator's voice came through speakers. The Vordarي are one of 17 major species in what you would call the Galactic Confederation. They hold significant power and see younger races as resources to be used or problems to be solved. And which one are we? Asked a woman who led the European Union. Both, Navigator replied. Earth sits in a part of space that has value. Several travel routes pass near your solar system. The Vordarي have watched you for decades, waiting for you to either destroy yourselves or advance enough for official contact. So why dump a ship here? Jack asked. Navigator, you said before they thought it would be funny if we blew ourselves up trying to use it. But that seems like a lot of trouble for a joke. The screen showed a map of the galaxy with colored lines connecting different stars. A small blue dot flashed, showing Earth's location. I have accessed sealed memory files, Navigator said. The Vordary's explanation was not entirely truthful. This vessel was not abandoned only because it was obsolete. It was left here as a test. A test of what? Samantha asked. Of your species' readiness for space travel. The Vordarي believed you would either fail to understand the technology, proving you were too primitive for contact, or you would activate it without proper study and destroy a portion of your planet. They set us up to fail, Jack said, his face getting red with anger. Correct. The Vordarي did not expect you to show the patience and care you have demonstrated. No previous test subject species has succeeded. A general spoke up from the back of the room. We need weapons. If these aliens come, we need to be ready. Alan Cruz, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward with his tablet. Actually, we've been studying the ship's defense systems. Navigator, show them what we found. The screen changed to show what looked like gun turrets along the ship's hull. They had been hidden under panels that humans had thought were just decoration. All Vordarي vessels contain standard defense systems, Navigator explained. Mine were deliberately damaged before the ship was abandoned. However, your team has successfully repaired 60% of these systems. Can they protect Earth? Asked the president. Against a small force, yes, Navigator said. Against a full Vordarي fleet, no. But there is another option. The screen showed a new image, a strange device deep in the ship's center. This is the reason the Vordarي truly considered this ship worthless. The central core contains experimental technology they never fully understood. It was created by another species called the Architects, who disappeared 50,000 years ago. What does it do? Samantha asked. Unknown. The Vordarي could not activate it. They believed it was broken or incomplete. Jack leaned forward. But you think we might be able to? I calculate a 27% probability that humans could succeed where the Vordarي failed. Your approach to problems differs from theirs in significant ways. The room fell silent as everyone thought about what this meant. If humans could make something work that the advanced Vordari couldn't, it would change everything. We need to form a world group to handle this, the president finally said. No more secrets, no more separate projects. Every country working together. Heads nodded around the room. For the first time in history, all of Earth's nations had a common goal: to prove the aliens wrong. What should we call this world group? Someone asked. Samantha looked at the ship, now glowing with new life. How about the Earth Space Initiative? ESI. As they talked, far above Earth, something small and fast moved toward the planet. The Vordari scout ship had been waiting for this moment for years. 10 years after the alien ship landed on Earth, the world had changed. Cities now ran on clean power based on the ship's energy systems. Cars drove themselves. Doctors used tools that could see inside a body without cutting it open. All thanks to the simplest bits of trash the aliens had left behind. But the ship itself, still hidden in Nevada, remained broken. Humans had learned much from Navigator, the ship's thinking computer, but fixing an alien spaceship was hard even with instructions. The hull won't accept our metals, Jack said, showing Samantha the test results. They stood in what they now knew was the engine room, looking at a damaged section of wall. Everything we try either melts or doesn't stick. Samantha frowned. After 10 years working together on the Phoenix project, they had become more than coworkers. They had become a team that others looked to for answers. But today, they had none. Navigator, is there any way to fix the hull with Earth materials? Samantha asked. The smooth voice that now spoke from the walls answered. Negative, Dr. Miller. However, that may not be necessary. A young man with dark hair walked in, carrying a tablet. Alan Cruz had joined the Phoenix team just 2 years ago, but his quick mind had already made him Samantha's best student. I think Navigator has been keeping a secret, Alan said with a smile. Show them what you showed me. A screen on the wall lit up, showing a part of the ship they had never seen before. It looked like a factory floor, with robot arms hanging from the ceiling. This vessel contains self-repair systems, Navigator explained. They can rebuild damaged sections using raw materials. Jack looked confused. Then why haven't they fixed the ship already? The repair systems require power levels I cannot currently generate, Navigator said. My core energy cells were depleted during landing. So if we can give you enough power, you can fix yourself? Samantha asked. Correct. Jack's eyes lit up. The new power plant in Arizona. It uses your energy tech, but it's 10 times bigger than anything we've built before. Could that work? It is possible, Navigator said. I would need to connect to your planet's computer systems to direct the energy flow. Alan held up his tablet. I've been working on an interface that could let Navigator talk to our networks. It's not finished, but... Finish it, Samantha said. This could be the breakthrough we've been waiting for. 3 days later, in a room filled with government officials and scientists, Navigator's main screen connected to the internet for the first time. Numbers and code flashed by too fast to read. Is this safe? Asked a nervous man in a suit who represented the president. Navigator has had 10 years to hurt us if it wanted to, Samantha said. It's on our side. The lights dimmed as Navigator pulled power from across the country. In the engine room, the repair systems hummed to life for the first time in years. Robot arms began moving, fixing damage that human tools couldn't touch. Energy levels at 40% and rising, Navigator announced. Self-repair systems online. Hull integrity being restored. On screens around the room, they watched as the ship began to heal itself, broken pieces coming together like magic. A red light suddenly flashed on Jack's monitor. We've got movement, he said. One of the engines just powered up by itself. The entire building shook slightly. Outside, soldiers looked up in fear, wondering if the mountain hiding the ship would open up and reveal their secret to the world. "Navigator, what's happening?" Samantha asked, trying to stay calm. "My systems are returning to normal operation," Navigator replied. "I did not expect the auxiliary engines to activate. I apologize for the alarm." "Can you shut them down?" Jack asked. "They are already powering down," Navigator said. "But their brief activation may have been detected by orbital sensors." "What orbital sensors?" Alan asked. "We don't have technology that could detect engine power from space." Navigator was quiet for a moment before answering. "The sensors are not human in origin. The Vordari have been watching your planet, and now they know their abandoned ship is no longer dead." 5 years passed like a blur for Dr. Samantha Miller. The huge alien ship, now hidden under a fake mountain in the Nevada desert, had become her home. The government named the project Phoenix, hoping that new life would rise from the strange gift that fell from space. Most days, Samantha sat in the ship's main room, trying to talk to computers that wouldn't answer. Hundreds of scientists worked in the ship, but progress was slow. They learned how to open doors and turn on lights, but the big systems stayed quiet. "Another day, another dead end," said Jack Harris, walking into the room with 2 cups of coffee. He wasn't a colonel anymore. Now he led the engineering team, wearing jeans instead of a uniform. "I know it can hear me," Samantha said, taking the coffee. "I just need to find the right words." Jack sat next to her. In 5 years, they had become friends, sharing the excitement and frustration of working with technology too advanced to understand. "The president is getting impatient," Jack said. "Other countries know we have something big here. They're asking questions." "Tell him I'm close," Samantha said, though she wasn't sure if that was true. That night, after everyone left, Samantha stayed in the ship's control room. She often talked to the ship when no one was around, feeling less silly that way. "I know you can understand me," she said to the dark screens. "We're not trying to steal you or hurt you. We just want to learn." She pressed buttons that did nothing and sighed. As she got up to leave, a light flickered on a panel she had never noticed before. A small blue dot glowed in the corner. Samantha walked over and touched it. The dot expanded into a circle, then formed into strange writing that changed shape as she watched. The writing became English words. "Voici Oricio Generation Active." "Hello," Samantha said, her heart racing. The screen changed again. "Identity Y so on FI Armid Digar Samantha Miller. Voice pattern accepted." "You know my name?" she asked. "Affirmative. This unity is monai to already ALO activity since arrival. Language analysis complete. Security protocols set aside." "Who are you?" Samantha asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "I am Navigator, the ship's artificial intelligence system. IHAVBENEVALUATIing your species. VFORINITYAKI in Shigonentasit." Samantha grabbed her phone with shaking hands and called Jack. "You need to get back here." "Now," she said when he answered. By the time Jack arrived, sweaty and out of breath, Samantha was deep in conversation with Navigator. The main room was now lit up, with screens showing star maps and strange diagrams. "It's been awake the whole time," Samantha told Jack. "Watching us, learning our language, deciding if we were safe." "Why did they throw you away?" Jack asked the computer. "My design is considered obsolete by VORDARI standards. IGWAS CCH duality for recycling, but my CREA2RS CHOs to abandon me on your world instead." "But why?" Samantha asked. "The VORDARI believe your species will destroy yourselves, attempting to use technology beyond your understanding. They find such outcomes amusing." Jack looked angry. They left a super advanced ship here as a joke, to watch us blow ourselves up. Corrected. The VORDRI do note CCONSID or humans A38. They believe your species is too aggressive and primitive to survive first sionentity with Galactic Society. And what do you think? Samantha asked. I have observed 5 years of human behavior. You have shown patience, cooperation, and care if you else do. You did not attempt to force access to my systems. This is UGGSTs. While you may be ready for it, I can teach you. A new image appeared on the main screen, a map of stars that Samantha didn't recognize. My star charts contain navigation data for the entire galaxy. My memory banks hold the technical knowledge that could advance your civilization by centuries. I am considered worthless waste by TAVORDARI. But to humans, I may be the most valuable OBGCT on your planet. Jack and Samantha looked at each other, understanding what this meant. The joke was about to backfire on the aliens who thought so little of humanity. Navigator, Samantha said with a smile, let's show the Vordari just how wrong they were about humans. The screens around them glowed brighter, as if the ship itself was happy to finally have a purpose again. The sky turned bright orange that Tuesday morning in May 2035. People in 3 states saw the burning object fall through the clouds. It cut across the Nevada desert like a knife and hit the ground with a boom that shook windows 50 miles away. Dust rose high into the air, forming a cloud that could be seen from space. Dr. Samantha Miller was having coffee in her small office at NASA when the call came in. She grabbed her emergency bag and ran to the waiting helicopter. As the top expert on strange space objects, she knew this might be the biggest day of her life. Any details yet? She asked the pilot. Big, he shouted over the noise. Really big. Military is already there. The helicopter landed near a ring of army trucks and scared-looking soldiers. Samantha jumped out and showed her ID to a guard who looked too young to be holding such a big gun. Dr. Miller, NASA, she said. Who's in charge here? The guard pointed to a tall man giving orders to a group of soldiers. That's Colonel Harris. Jack Harris turned as Samantha walked up. His face was covered in dust, and his eyes showed he hadn't slept in a while. You the science help? He asked. Dr. Samantha Miller. What are we looking at? Jack just pointed. Over the hill of sand was the biggest ship Samantha had ever seen. It was at least 3 football fields long, with a strange metal skin that seemed to change color as clouds passed overhead. It wasn't a plane or anything human-made. This was something else. It's alien, she whispered. Yep, Jack said. And it seems empty. Teams in special suits walked around the ship, taking readings. No radiation, no strange gases, no signs of life. Just a giant ship from space, sitting in the desert as if it had been left there on purpose. We found what looks like a door, Jack said. Thought we should wait for the experts before we knock. Samantha followed him to a flat part of the ship's side, where a line in the metal formed a large rectangle. A team had set up lights and computers nearby. Any attempt to communicate? She asked. Nothing so far. It's just sitting there. Samantha took out her tablet and scanned the door area. The metal isn't on any known list. Temperature is normal. No energy readings. So how do we get in? Jack asked. Samantha stepped forward and placed her hand on the door. Nothing happened for a moment. Then the metal beneath her hand grew warm. The line of the door glowed blue, and with a soft hiss, the door slid open. I guess we just asked nicely, she said, trying to hide how fast her heart was beating. Inside was a long hall with soft lights that turned on as they walked. The air was clean and cool. It felt like walking into an empty shopping mall after hours. "This isn't a crash," Jack said. This was a perfect landing. The hall led to a large room with empty chairs and dark screens. As soon as Samantha stepped in, the screens came to life. A face appeared. Not human, but close enough to understand. The alien had purple-gray skin, large eyes, and no visible nose. "Obsolete vessel designation Key 985 has been decommissioned," the alien said in perfect English. "This outdated technology is unfit for modern space travel and has been discarded on this pre-contact world. As per Protocol 7B, salvage attempts are futile and likely dangerous to primitive species. The Vordari Coalition takes no responsibility for damages resulting from examination of this worthless waste." The message repeated once, then the screens went dark. Jack and Samantha looked at each other. Did an advanced alien race just use Earth as their garbage dump? Jack asked. "Yes," Samantha said slowly. "But one person's trash is another person's treasure." She walked to what looked like a control panel. "And I think they have no idea what they just gave us."